Hello, how are you doing? I hope you have been keeping well, and I know it's been a little while since I have checked in on you. However, I wanted to say hi and I wanted to talk about something what was happening last year about this time. And what it was that I was going through a lot of inner healing, doing a lot of inner work, and as a result of that, I took a break from social media for 4 months. I basically stepped away from Instagram, from Facebook, from YouTube. I even kind of limited my social contact with my friends, and I just dived deeply into journaling and releasing and like focusing on healing past wounds and deconditioning. And I spent a ton of time in nature, hugging trees, like really making the effort to be present in nature. And I suppose the reason for that was because it was really beginning. It was really beginning of my inner work journey, and especially at the beginning, where you are like only discovering all the conditionings which you have taken from culture, from your own culture, from your family, from all the environments you have been exposed to at work, with your friends, at school, and all of that. And you just start peeling it layer by layer, like an orange. And it can be overwhelming, especially at the beginning. And so I just felt like the world around was just too much around me, and it felt like I was so distracted by all the ideas, all kind of ideas other people had of me, all those different versions of me, or at least that's what I believed, that I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't be in all those places. And so that's why I totally pulled back. And I believe that's really what I wanted to do, that I didn't want to be at any social media and so on, as I said, like really lead quiet life. But a couple of months in, I started realizing one thing, and that's why I'm talking to you about this. A couple of months in, I started to realize that, you know what, I'm actually not being bothered anymore. I really feel quite unbothered by my life, by reactions to other people, by stuff at work, in my family. But I started to notice that it was mostly because I was keeping quiet, because I was avoiding as much as I could a lot of social interactions. And that kind of pulled me into this belief that I'm healed. That I'm healed and I deconditioned, and really inner work is progressing beautifully. But then I realized that actually you can't hide away from those very places which trigger you and consider yourself healed or consider yourself resilient, right? And so it occurred to me, first of all, life suddenly became quite monotonous, you know. And second of all, I realized that if something happened and I just accidentally or suddenly was, let's say with my mom, who has this knack on triggering me, right? For example, with my brother, or something suddenly happened at work, unexpected, I still was the same person. I still was triggered. I still was overanalyzing things. Fear kicked in, fear of unknown, of not being able to control things, right? And so I realized that by me stepping away, yes, I got or gave myself space to process and take a breather. Nonetheless, unless I'm really unbothered in those situations, being exposed to those situations, I really can't consider myself healed, right? And resilient and basically strong and present within me. And so I realized, okay, let's do it differently now. I did the biggest heavy lifting because I went back then through inner child healing course. I went for a couple of therapy sessions on that topic. And as I said, had been doing loads of journaling, but I felt after those couple of months of break, I felt like strong enough to come back and to start dealing with triggers as they come up in real time. And so, yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you, because sometimes really it seems like running away and shutting the world down, or out, and pushing it all away from you seems like a perfect solution, because it just suddenly all disappears and you seem to be at peace. However, the world around you still keeps going on, and I just want to kind of encourage you to believe in yourself, that you are strong enough. You are strong enough to go through any sort of triggers, to process them, to feel them, to release the trigger, to learn from it, and to alchemize it, to transmute it into a lesson. You are strong enough to extract the gold from anything. And even if in the moment it seems like very intense, it shall pass. It really shall pass. And last week I actually have gone through this amazing it was like a mastermind kind of couple of days of calls. It was actually called Queens of Money, and it was something absolutely amazing, and I highly recommend it. It was done by the universe guru Mina Irfan, and oh my god, the energy which was on those calls with all the other women, it was really about spiritual kind of spiritual way about money, but from a spiritual point of view. And that again reminded me that even during your healing journey, even when there are still a lot of triggers around you, you have a choice of which field you plug into. You have a choice, where it resonates and where you feel encouraged and empowered and activated to plug into that field and do your healing and basically cleansing and spiritual growth and up-leveling through this, rather than necessarily doing it alone. Because it is true that a lot of our inner wounds, which we have, collected throughout our life, happened in groups of people, right? Be it your family again, be it with your friends, be it in your workplace. And as it happens, really the most effective place to heal it is within similar environment, within similar group of people. And honestly, I would have never believed it until I have experienced something similar myself. And it was actually back in January this year, when I went for a workshop which was led by one of the practitioners of the work by Byron Katie. Yeah, sorry. By Byron Katie. Which I highly recommend you to check out. And there was a group of women, and we were doing the work and asking the inquiry questions, basically. And within that group, it was for the first time, and I really experienced being witnessed by other women and being kind of on the same level, dealing with the same stuff. I really experienced and felt deeply inside, deep in inner healing. And so I wanted to share that with you, because as much as you may feel sometimes called to do the inner work by yourself, and there definitely is a place for it, and me being introverted and empathic person, projector with many centers open and really sensitive to energies, I really first do the inner work on my own. However, then there is the next level. There's always next level, but then there is next level when you reach it, that really in order to go further you may need support, and whether it is support of some group, of your friends, of your family, of a therapist, whomever it is. But I just wanted to mention that because that can be very easily overlooked. And so I hope you found it helpful today. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.